The zombie movie has persisted for many years, like many other horror subgenres, purely due to the inventive ways that filmmakers may present their interpretation of the concept. These films will frequently center on a few survivors who are trying to start over. All hope is gone in the films we'll highlight on this list though, as everyone dies. Today, we will explore some zombie movies where everyone dies. Number 7. Dawn of the Dead. The 2004 version of Dawn of the Dead seems a little more upbeat than most other zombie films. Many of its main characters pass away. The cast is losing members due to accidents, zombie bites, and mercy killings. 4 characters do, however, succeed in getting on a boat and leaving the city. Then, Dawn of the Dead plays its shocking twist finale. It neither allows the 4 to escape to safety, nor does it leave their future uncertain once they have left the city. After running out of supplies, they arrive on an island in the closing scenes of Dawn of the Dead, but the island is also overrun with zombies. Although not revealed, their deaths are quite likely. Number 6. 28 Weeks Later. Danny Boyle directed the post-apocalyptic horror movie 28 Weeks Later in 2002. The movie, with a screenplay by Alex Garland, stars Brendan Gleeson, Megan Burns, Cillian Murphy, Noah Huntley, Christopher Eccleston, and Naomi Harris. The story, which is set in Britain shortly after the turn of the 21st century, shows how society breaks down after an unintentional release of a highly contagious virus and centers on the struggles of 4 survivors to deal with the destruction of the life they once knew. This movie does something unusual, especially the ending, which is shocking. Just when you think a small group of survivors have managed to escape, flying away across the sea towards France, where it is believed the infection hasn't yet reached, to our surprise, the infection is already there, and a horde of infected people are seen running toward the Eiffel Tower. Number 5. The Crazies, 2010. The Crazies is a 2010 American horror film directed by Breck Eisner. The movie is a remake of George A. Romero's 1973 film of the same name, which was written by Scott Kozar and Ray Wright. Romero is also the executive producer and co-writer of the remake. In this 2010 film, a tiny handful of survivors try to band together to leave the town and the crazy people. The movie is structured just like a normal zombie experience. In reality, here the virus is ingested due to a weaponized biological substance that unintentionally made its way into the town's water supply rather than being spread by bites. The Crazies depict a nuclear bomb being detonated to fully destroy the town, in contrast to similar movies where the survivors flee a region filled with the infected. In the movie's climactic scene, a couple can be seen heading towards the new city until a satellite spots them and the terrifying text, "Initiate confinement protocol," appears on the screen, practically sealing the destiny of the couple. Number 4. Rec 3 Genesis. Rec 3 Genesis is a 2012 Spanish horror film directed by Paco Plaza. This film is the 3rd installment of the Rec series. It is a parallel sequence to the first 2 films, taking place before, during, and after the films. Coldo and Clara had invited their friends and family to a lavish country mansion for the occasion. However, the celebrations of Coldo and Clara's impending wedding are unexpectedly cut short when an aggressive, infected veterinarian, which serves as a link between the films, begins biting the other guests. It's a bloody affair, and Coldo and Clara, who have since gotten infected, share one last kiss before being shot dead by police outside the venue. Number 3. Pet Sematary. The Creed family relocates from Chicago to the little Maine hamlet of Ludlow, where they undoubtedly expect to experience significantly fewer reanimations. After the family cat is killed in front of their house, a neighbor suggests that Louis take the animal beyond the pet cemetery nearby and bury it in a historic Native American burial site. Louis follows the neighbor's advice, and the next day the cat returns home alive, but not quite right. Eventually, a horrifying accident claims the young Creed's life, resulting in Louis burying his son in the same cemetery. Then, shockingly, Creed kills his neighbor and mother upon his return from the dead. In an effort to kill his kid, Louis injects morphine into him. When Louis brings his wife's body to a cemetery to bring her back, she accepts and, in her undead state, stabs Louis in the chest as the screen goes black. Number 2. Return of the Living Dead. The Return of the Living Dead is a more comic interpretation of the zombie genre and is regarded as one of the best zombie films of all time. A group of punk rockers decide that a cemetery would be a great place to have a party, but they soon run into trouble with the dead, who come out of their graves to eat brains. The remaining characters are able to hide from those who are after them, and the teens find another group of survivors and ask for help from the military. The colonel in charge orders the village to be destroyed by a nuclear explosion, killing everyone inside in a futile attempt to stop the epidemic after realizing the situation cannot be controlled. Number 1. Pontypool. Bruce MacDonald is the director of the 2008 Canadian horror movie Pontypool. The French message, once it has been translated, warns viewers to stay indoors and refrain from using the English language and specific expressions while the town of Pontypool is under quarantine. When the source of this harmful virus is found, everyone who hears about it is altered. It is discovered that you can control language and aid anyone who is afflicted by doing so. But the local government has other ideas and decides to blow up the radio station. It was later shown that the quarantine was ineffective and the infection continues to spread. With that, we conclude our list for today. Let us know what you think about these movies.